Hi, subscribe to my channel Shobha Rana for more.
Just talking it out to somebody helps is what they say.
Yeah.
Therapy works, therapy helps. Therapy is also a part of CBT.
Yeah, absolutely. The way I see it is that your brain has all the tools it needs to take care of itself. But for some reason, through either childhood trauma or just your lived experiences, you have lost those tools or you were never taught to use those tools. I believe what CBT does, what therapy does, is to teach you how to use your tools to help yourself.
But Sid, how do you recognize that you don't have this tool in your arsenal, or you have it and you're not using it?
Yeah.
Because people who are angry, they just know only that as the way of life. They don't know the other way.
Yeah.
How does that come into your area of awareness instead of just being a blind spot?
My belief is that we should stop thinking of therapy as something you go to when you're in trouble. I really believe that these tools are supposed to be taught to us as a basic human right. I feel like we have done ourselves a very big injustice in not teaching our kids and ourselves these basic tools. These are not tools for people who are going through issues. These are tools that every single one of us needs. Any one of us who has gone through a heartbreak has somehow managed to figure out those tools. And we have recovered from it. But we have had to do it the hard way because we were never taught how to deal with sadness. And we somehow did it.
But in that process also, whatever you processed, in what way that will reflect into what other area of your life.
Exactly.
You feel that you have moved on, but have you really processed it? That also is up for debate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how much have you struggled with it? So for example, you have to pay taxes. Suppose nobody has taught you how to pay taxes. Eventually you'll figure it out, right? The government will come there, will punish you, will fine you, you will learn, you will ask somebody, you will do something. But it is so ugly. Shouldn't you have been taught that? Since taxes is inevitable, shouldn't every student be taught how to pay taxes? Similarly, anger is inevitable. Sadness is inevitable. Anxiety is inevitable in life. Shouldn't we be taught how to deal with those emotions at a school level? How can we be not? It is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous that we don't study these subjects which are going to help you in your life in reality.
Absolutely.
That you need at every point and every stage in your life, whether you're successful or unsuccessful, whether you're happy or unhappy. These are the tools that you need. So I think it's high time that we start thinking of therapy or CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, as something as basic as another additional subject to our 5-6 subjects list that we study at
Now
school.
we are talking. So I believe that basic neuroscience and basic self-talk, emotional regulation should be topics that every single student should be taught. And also all the adults who weren't lucky enough to be taught that. But every day that we don't teach, we are letting another batch of kids grow up without having the tools to deal with all this.
Actually, more so now because mental health issues are so much on the rise.
Correct.
And this is like an epidemic that we are already in. It's not like we're going to face it in next 10 years. It's already as worse as it is becoming now.
And it's a double-edged sword because now we are dealing with half information. So now an entire generation of kids has access to the terminologies of depression and anxiety without really knowing what it is. And so there is another epidemic of self-diagnosis. I feel like I am depressed. I feel like I have anxiety disorder. Now these are important terms. So there is a certain process in order to be diagnosed with that. There are certain criteria. And while I accept that those criteria are evolving and they are by no means perfect, I also feel like there is a danger in self-diagnosis. So now it becomes even more urgent,
of course,
to teach all the kids about what is normal, what is acceptable, what is